When you find people straying away from God, they try to legitimize it in the best way they can. Sometimes they try to associate it with some movement, using some name that sounds good, when in reality it is like everything else that strays away from God, destruction. I was thinking about a group called the Federalist Society. They want to run some things. And I'm wondering if these things that the Federalist Society wants to run are any different than those things that people in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, 1900s wanted to run. You see, none of those programs during those times had any real benefit for the masses of the people. And whether we operate under the system that we have here, or we look at systems other places that are different than these, they all have the same basic outcome, and that is failure as far as meeting the needs of the people. Now, I'm thinking that all of the natural resources came with the earth. We don't really know where the earth come from. We can use our imagination to come up with 1,000 things. But wherever it come from, the natural resources came along with it. And it was created in such a way that we as human beings could habitate here. And that those things that are essential for our survival basically are within the natural resources that have been stored upon this earth. And what is required from those resources to meet the needs that we have been geared to a way of working with us that call and draws us to respond in the proper way, like when you get your belly aching because you're hungry. It starts you to doing all kinds of things. But most of all, it calls you to doing those kinds of things that leads to satisfying that hunger, that eating. So these built in. So we today come out of a cave, and today, this evening, we fly in spaceships because of the way that the initial power put this stuff together. But ever since the beginning, and even including the natural gifts that we as individuals have, and we all got natural gifts, just like the earth got natural gifts, we as human beings got natural gifts. We are not familiar with them because we've been so led astray, but we got them nonetheless. And so while we would use those natural gifts to express what is naturally the way of life, but we have some who have decided to go another way, an alternative way. They don't want to say that this way is wrong or that. They just want to say, we see it different. You want to do it this way, and we want to do it this way. And the difference is the way you do it would actually satisfy everybody. We would all have what we want, what we need, what we desire. But that's not enough for some. Some deserve more. And they justify by saying that this is small thinking when you start talking about everybody. But big thinking is when you're talking about yourself, what you are able to do, and what you don't need anybody stopping you from doing. In other words, you know that you can exploit people, and you don't want any checks and balances that will prevent you from exploiting people, because if they are dumb and stupid enough for being exploited, then that's your job to exploit them so you can benefit from it. Now, we were taught that that was the way the evil one thinks. That's the way they cause pain and suffering. Rather than what he just said, everybody is being satisfied, having your needs, wants, and desires met. Now this one wants more, takes more to satisfy, to the extent that you must be robbed to this one can be satisfied. Now, you can think that is a proper way, but I'm sure neither one of you would want to be on the losing end. And they say This is motivation. This encourages one to keep on reaching out, to keep on striving, because if you don't, you'll get stepped on. You think about the millions and millions of people that have been murdered, being stepped on, and everybody trying to get to heaven, they say, where the program that everyone seems to have nothing, they just detest, while they got the voice, while they got the hands, while they got the power, they detest heaven. And yet, when they have lost the ability to live, to exist, then they have set up that they crave heaven. And not only that, someone is going to come and save them from those that they have determined they are better than. Well, I don't know how that thing is going to work out. All I know is this. I want to be satisfied. I want my wants, my needs, and my desires met when I want them met. I come here to do something. I really came here to entertain because that gives me great pleasure. But I saw something that was much more important than me having pleasure from entertaining. And that is that you, the people, would wake up and get a chance to enjoy life as opposed to being in bondage, in slavery, indoctrinated, just a vessel for usage for the benefit of others that care nothing about you. In response to your love for God or lack thereof. I don't know. Just thought I wanted to let you know that we would never vote for Donald Trump. And those who that says that God got Donald Trump here to abuse people of color in the name of white people. No, I'll never believe that, and you won't either, even though you'll benefit from it. When I say these things, I know everything that I say applies to some. What I say applies to many whites. Yet at the same time, that same statement does not apply to many whites. What I say applies to many black people. And yet what I say does not apply to many black people. So it is and it isn't. So what should it be? Is and isn't, or isn't, or is. Somebody said if the people got choice, you got is and isn't. But wisdom says that's only for a while, because eventually, either way destroys not only itself, but the opposite as well. So, it's better to stay on the good foot, even if it takes forever to get there. You're still moving in that path, and you will get there.